I'm listening to 49er Rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely great to be with you guys. There's some terrible football being played at this current moment, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, why am I spending my time watching this awful game between the Kirk Cousins and the Ben whatever? Don't ever go into the bathroom with that guy. It's just terrible football. So I wanted to redirect and spend my time constructively with you guys. And so shout out to the Countdown crew. I love it. All the hashtag CCs. Man, I think we've been doing the Countdown crew for a year and a half now. And I need to go back and count up all the giveaways we have done. It's been crazy. And, you know, I'm currently in the works with a couple different companies trying to get some more giveaways to get to you guys. So hopefully we'll see that soon. But I wanted to spend today, it's Thursday. The practice reports are starting to kind of fill up and make more sense with who we have out there this week. You know, obviously we're on the road in Cincinnati. The Bengals are a good team. And I don't want this episode to be all about the Bengals. That's going to be our next episode that we do on Saturday. Little Chapman's got his flag football game tomorrow right after school, so I'm not going to be able to record then. His team's undefeated. He's killing it, by the way. Little Chapman's, he might be a little baller. I'm pretty pumped. And then so Saturday, I will get that to you guys. And yeah, JD, he says, thank you for saving us from Thursday Night Football. This is bad, man. One of the biggest bets we did this year to start the year was the Steelers not making the playoffs. And man, I think we hit home on that one. I know their record is like right on the cusp of being a playoff team. That ain't a playoff team. That's a bad football team. They started off hot like they do always, but yeah, it's over. It's over. Did you see the Steve Young interview? I have seen clips of it. I haven't finished the whole thing. That's on my queue for the morning, my morning drive to work. That's when I'm going to jump into the Steve Young. But yes, I have seen most of the highlights and all of those things. And, you know, I love Steve Young. I love what he has to say. I think it's important. And also, I sometimes I could disagree with the takes. I mean, Steve Young and Joe Montana disagree with each other, right? Like who should have been the quarterback and all those things. That's cool. That's cool. You know, they're allowed opinions. And that's one of the things that I like about this podcast and all podcasts. Like, don't agree with me on everything. And I'm not, like, I tell my students this all the time. If you agree with one person, I don't care who that person is, all the time, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And so, like, discourse is a great thing. And so you can listen to Steve Young, who's somebody that I admire, I look up to. He's incredible on and off the field, amazing person, all these different things. And you can disagree with certain takes that he has, and that's okay. And you can disagree with maybe one or two of my takes. That's about it. No more than that. Anyway, so let's jump into the practice report, the injuries, all of that stuff, because it's a lot. It is a lot. So here we go. Without further ado, let's talk about these injuries, and let's let the head coach himself start it off. This is today's practice plan and kind of where things are.
Mo Hurst, calf won't practice. Trenton Cannon, concussion, won't practice. Greenlaw, groin, won't practice. Debo, groin, won't practice. Elijah Mitchell, concussion/knee, won't practice. Emmanuel, ankle, won't practice. Jeff Wilson, knee, limited. Alex Mack and Trent won't practice, but not injury related.
So I apologize. I misled you on the start of that. That was yesterday's clip, courtesy of Juan Salas, the beautiful man himself, man behind the scenes. Jeff Wilson Jr. was full go today, as was Fred Warner. And so getting some Reserves back, but not all the reserves we were hoping to. Oh, what's up, Tommy? Appreciate the gift, man. He says, I'm on a run listening. We need this win. Let's go. Hey, man, I want to channel to you my innermost 80s sports montage song that I could possibly, like, boom. I'm thinking Karate Kid. We're the best around. Nobody's ever going to let you down, Tommy. Go get them, big guy. Get those extra steps in, that extra run. That is awesome. Love it, man. And so, yeah, Debo still not practicing. That one hurts. I think Debo, I'm not sure he's going to play this week. The one that I'm holding out hope, right? Because, again, Debo, Elijah Mitchell, Greenlaw, Hurst, Mosley, Cannon. Mosley 100% not playing this week. Possibly could go on IR. They would probably announce that on Saturday like they usually do. Trenton Cannon, I doubt he plays this week. Mo Hurst, doubt he plays this week. Greenlaw, doubt he plays this week. Elijah Mitchell, that's the one to keep the eye on. One, he's just been lights out incredible. There's no doubt about that. But also on top of that, like we are so dependent upon him for Shanahan to be any shadow of what Shanahan is. When we haven't had Elijah Mitchell in the lineup, Shanahan, it's it's Shanahan light, right? Like it's watered down Shanahan. It's into the packet of Kool-Aid. You got to add extra water, and you're not hitting the ratio. There's not enough sweetener in there. That's what it is. It's diet Shanahan. So that's the big one. Now, this game's huge. All games are huge. The 49ers are currently in the playoffs, right? We're the 7th seed. And if you look at where the Cincinnati Bengals are, they're 6th seed in the AFC. So relatively middle on similar paths. Now, the schedule for the 49ers shakes out very, very well. And again, if you don't understand the tiebreaker rules, head-to-head is number one. Then it's conference record. Well, guess what? This is not a conference game. The 49ers schedule for conference games, or the record, is 5-5. Of the 5 remaining teams that we have, 3 are in the AFC. So we've got Bengals, Titans, and Texans, and we only have 2 NFC teams. And that is the Atlanta Falcons, that's the most important game we have left, and then the Rams, which is probably the second most important game we have left. This one's bottom of the list as far as games that go. Do we need to win it? 100%. If you were to ask me, okay, of the next 5 games, you have to lose one. Which one do you lose? It's going to be one of those 3 AFC teams. They're all of equal weight. You need to win some of them because you go 2 and 3. You might make the playoffs. AFC's trash. Now, here's the crazy thing, and I said this last week. If the 49ers lose this game and go to 6-7, and the teams behind us all win, Eagles are behind us, Vikings are behind us, Panthers are behind us, right? And the Falcons and Saints. Let's say every team behind us wins, which it's looking like the Vikings are probably going to win. Guess what? We lose, every team behind us wins. We're still the 6th seed next week. We have a game leeway because the only team that could tie us in record is the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the only one. If they win, they lose, and then we'd have the same record. But guess what? We beat them head to head. So we own a lot of the tiebreakers. We have the tiebreakers of the Eagles. We have the tiebreakers of the Vikings. We don't play the Panthers. We do play the Falcons. So that's key. I don't think that you have to win out. Obviously, that's always the goal. You focus one at a time. But this is nowhere near that whole, make it, break it game, whatever. And I know fans, we like to say this is a must win. You got to rebound after a terrible loss, whatever else. I don't think it is. As a coach and as a player, every game, you got to focus on that. But as a fan, stepping back and looking at this logically and the spread that's ahead of you, I don't think it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but just mathematically, it's not. It's not. Jason, what's up, man? He says, nice hat. Where do I get one? Yeah, appreciate that. Residency. That is the company. You see a lot of the 49ers repping these bad boys. I gave a couple of them away on Patreon. And yeah, I was just like, you know what? It's time for a new hat. So got this guy. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can check them out. Just Residency SF hats. Just search that and pull up. They have a whole bunch of different ones. And yeah, Dirtbag. I hate calling you that, but that is your tag. He says, I hope Debo and Mitchell play. You're damn right, man. I really hope they play as well. We need them. And, Michael, he says, do you think we run the ball 40 times? Not without Elijah Mitchell, we don't. Not even close. Because right now, the running back lineup, Jeff Wilson's number one, who Shanahan has kept on the sidelines, only uses him in emergency situations. There was one game earlier this year where he used him like crazy, but it's not his go-to. So right now it's Jeff Wilson, JaMychal Hasty, and Brian Hill, who we just signed to the practice squad. He's going to be called up this week. That's it. Everybody else is hurt. And even if Elijah Mitchell is a full go, because again, he's got the knee and the concussion, which I think if I had to bet on this, thankfully you can't bet on these things. I probably would. If I had to bet, I think he plays, Elijah Mitchell. I do. I think he leans that way, but the concussion protocol is always just kind of strange. It's just kind of a weird whatever. But good news. Let's hear from the captain of our defense, who, man, I love this guy. He is back, and I want you to listen to Fred Warner himself just talking about how he waited until he was 100%.
I did. We all talked about it. We were all on the same page that the risk outweighed the reward, right? I could have went out there and we wouldn't have known what was going to happen. So it was either go out there, risk being out for another 4 weeks, or take 1 week off and be back for this week. So happy to be back.
Yeah, and while he was out, I think this is important, and I want to make sure that I spend adequate time on this. Azeez was unreal. And going back to Fred Warner here, I think this is important because Fred Warner is kind of the big brother. He came in, took that starting spot. First game Fred Warner's missed as a pro, and he gives some love to Azeez here.
Man, that was his best game to date. Played outstanding, and the defense didn't drop off one bit. I mean, that was such a great outing by the entire defense. But Azeez, he was out there controlling the defense, making big plays, being all over the place like he always is. And so I was on the sideline and I was cheering extra hard for him.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a beast. And I think probably the biggest play, man, there's so many big plays whenever you watch a game, right? And you have like 60 offensive, 60 defensive plays or around that number. And it always boils down to kind of 3 or 4 plays. And Azeez put this team in a position to win against the Seahawks. And we did this whole Patreon breakdown, went through the whole offense, went through the whole defense. This was one of my favorite plays by far. I'm not going to share a whole bunch of plays. If you want to check those out, as always, go to patreon.com. Then just search 49ers Rush Podcast. It's the best place. We go through every single play, offense and defense for every single game, the coaching tape. Like, if you want to be an informed fan, that's the place to go. And it's only $8 a month for everything, for 220 plus whatever. But check this play out of Azeez forcing the fumble at the end of the game. Big players make big plays in big moments. Ball came out. Well, look right here, and you can see it. Watch 2-7. He doesn't force the fumble, but he's the first one that recognizes it. Look at him right here. He's watching. He holds his hand up like it's 4th down. Oh, there's the ball. Whoop. And Everett was trash this game. Gave us a free interception. Should have been a touchdown and fumbled this one. Azeez is going to force this one. Watch him right here. Just track him. Comes up, puts his helmet on the ball. Boom, right there. Helmet on the ball. That ball's out. Get in there and get it, baby. Defense did everything and more to dominate this game. Everything and more. They had one bad defensive drive. One bad defensive drive this whole game. The rest was special teams, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Josh freaking Norman. Make no mistake about it. Defense played great. This is frustrating. I'm glad to finally put it behind us. If you watch this whole thing, you are a freaking trooper, man. That was an hour and 30 in on the defensive performance, and they played really well. They did. Took a lot away from it. The special teams, which we're going to spend some time on at the end of this episode, that was the issue. We lost because of special teams, Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Norman. That's just the truth of the matter. Now, real quick, man, we're getting close to the holidays, and if you're not sure what you want, because I'm one of those crazy people too, and my wife's like, all right, what do you want? And I'm just like, shirt. I don't know. If I want something, I'll just buy it. Whatever. Teacher salary. Come on, guys. But anyway, this is something to ask for. Shout out to every plate and those people trying to lose some weight and live healthy. Here we go. Experience full plates and fuller wallets with America's best value meal kit. Here's the deal. I was beyond skeptical, okay? I'm not a big cook. I don't really have a lot of time for that. You guys know I got way too much stuff going on. But with every point, it is all the hard stuff's taken out of it. And so here's what's amazing. You prepare all of your meals in less than 30 minutes or less. And again, I wouldn't touch it if that was the case. But it's healthy, it's delicious, and it's quick. You ever sit around like, all right, what am I going to make next? They take all of that out. And so if you head over to everyplate.com, use the promo code 49ers179, no specials. Now, what does that 179 mean? With no spaces, again, 49ers179. Every meal is $1.79. So again, go over to everyplate.com and enter the code 49ers179. $1.79 per meal. It's incredible. And here's one of the things why I've worked with these guys for so long is I endorse their product. I use their product with my family. My son likes their product. My wife likes it. If you can make all of us happy, you're doing something great. So give yourself and your wallet a break. Enjoy delicious, affordable meals delivered to your door. You don't have to go shopping, and ready to go in just 6 simple steps. So try Every Plate for just $1.79 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code 49ers179. All right, a couple questions that are coming through here that I kind of like. Jay Good, I think I pronounced that correctly. He says, do you think we should put Jimmy Ward at corner until Mosley is healthy? I don't. I really, really don't. I don't want to mess up something that's working. Jimmy Ward out there makes Talanoa Hufanga great, and the 3 safety look has worked wonders. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I don't want to move Jimmy Ward. Keep him out there. The corners need to step up. There's no doubt about it. Shanahan talked about how there's a competition for that spot with Mosley out between the 2 rookies and number 27. Number 27's look good on the inside, not the outside, but there's no doubt in my mind Shanahan's going with it. It's a Shanahan loyalty program. Number 27 is going to be starting this week. I don't like it. Now, here's what I would do personally. I would rotate series. Allow them to go out there and prove a true meritocracy. The message that sends to the team is, hey, man, put them out there. Start with the rooks. Give them first opportunity. We know what number 27 is, right? He's 30 plus, whatever. Like, he's not the future. No matter what Shanahan believes, he's not. Diamador Lenore, he definitely struggled. There's no doubt about it. Gave up a touchdown, got beat to the inside on a deep 3rd and 19. But again, on the Patreon, we talk about that. Terrible defensive call. Give him some safety help over the top. Good God. But I'll say this. What I would do, I'd put Demo out there first series, Ambry Thomas out there second series, number 27 out there third series, and who wants it? And so each one of them gets a series. Well, let's see what happens. And then roll with the hot hand. And don't be afraid to jump back and forth. Like, that's fine. But what you can't do is just put 27 out there and just say, shrug your shoulders, whatever happens, happens. Do the whole Josh Norman approach, who gives up multiple touchdowns back-to-back games. And we're just like, meh, not a big deal. He's a leader of this team, which is just totally... you gotta make me mad. So I'd keep Ward, Jay Good, at where he is. You got to give these corners. Let's be real. I want the 49ers to make the playoffs. I think that we're a playoff caliber team. Are we winning the Super Bowl? I don't think so. But if you make the playoffs, who knows? You have to develop these rookies. At some point, Kyle Shanahan, you got to trust a rookie. And there's going to be growing pains. But are there not growing pains with Norman? Are there not growing pains with Akello when he was here? Are there not growing pains with Rashad Robinson, the praying mantis? Y'all remember that guy? Pass interference, just freaking walking. You got to let these kids grow. They're peacocks. Let them spread their feathers. Let them fly, Captain. Anyway, with you, Phillip. You got to let Trey Lance out there, too. Now, Fonzie. What's up, Fonzie? Appreciate this question. He says, did you hear Rex Ryan on his podcast? No, I don't. I do not listen to Rex Ryan's podcast. He is very entertaining. I don't agree with a lot of his takes, but I thought that this was interesting. I did see this on Twitter, but again, I don't listen to his podcast, so it might be, more nuanced than this. Not that I would consider Rex Ryan a nuanced person whatsoever, or that he knows what nuanced means. Oh man, shouldn't throw slugs against somebody I don't know, but I think Rex Ryan has thrown enough slugs to allow some to come back. And if he wants to shoot some my way, that's fine. He listens to the pod, I'm sure. Hashtag Countdown Crew Rex Ryan. Now, he says this, and again, this is coming from Fonzie. I think this is relatively what he said. The 49ers only win when every single thing is in place. But the moment one thing is out of place, yeah, we lose. I think that he's onto something. He's not wrong. When the 49ers are on, they can beat any team in the NFL. And that's why we're so scary. It's the Incredible Hulk, right? Because what are they? Are they, Bruce Banner? Or are they the freaking Hulk and can destroy everything? Ask the Rams, right? Like, you roll the dice, you got to see who you get. Is it drunk Shanahan drawing up all these awesome plays that work fine? Or is it Shanahan that refuses to call a play action pass? Shanahan that, does whatever. So we're not consistent. And when you're not consistent in the NFL, you're going to get caught. And that's happened to us. But when we are on, you got to watch out. I don't want to – we're not the same built team as those Giants team with Eli Manning that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But when we're on, if we get hot and healthy at the right time, trust me, every single team in the NFC that's not the number one seed, nobody wants to play us. We're not going to be on anybody's favorite list. I guarantee you that. Nobody wants to play us. You look at the teams in the NFC playoff picture, right? You've got, again, the non-division winners, okay? Right now you've got Rams, Washington, 49ers, Eagles. I guarantee you, if you ask the top four teams, Cardinals, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys, what team do you not want to play? The 49ers are going to be the top of the list. The Rams might be up there with us, but the Rams have laid some stinkers way worse than us, right? Like, they're similar. They are really good or really bad. So I think everybody would rather take their chances with Washington or the Eagles or the Vikings, who Vikings lost to the freaking Jared Goff Lions. Like, really? Luke, he said, thanks for the gift, man. He says, Countdown Crew, 20 minutes late. Oh, it still counts, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the gift, as always. Tim Cassidy says, where the hell is Aaron Banks? He's on the bench, man. One does not simply defeat Daniel Brunskill. It's what it is. I don't think anybody believes Daniel Brunskill is the future of this franchise either. I think he's a great utility piece, and I would love for him to be the first one off the bench. But we'll see, man. We'll have to wait and see kind of what that looks like. Now, I want to spend some time talking about Nick Bosa. So we're going to start off with Kyle Shanahan, and then we're going to go to a play, and then we're going to jump into some deep analytics. And yeah, let's do this.
I don't think Bosa changes. I mean, you guys see the way he talks. He's a pretty chill guy. I think he thinks a lot. I think he's very intelligent, but he doesn't just talk to talk, and he's not a big rah-rah guy. He loves football. He does everything he can to be prepared for those 3.5 hours on Sunday, and he does that all year around. And when he gets to Sunday, he gives it everything he's got.
He plays so freaking hard and consistent. We just talked about, like, the 49ers are not consistent. Nick Bosa's consistent. Trent Williams consistent. Jimmy Ward's consistent, right? Like, Elijah Mitchell's consistent. Kittle's consistent. Lakin's consistent. Mosley's consistent, right? So you have some guys that are consistent. A lot of them aren't. And if you can get some more, DJ Jones, I think, is consistent. I might be missing a couple other ones, but I think that's what's key. And Nick Bosa hasn't really had that, like, all-world game, but he's been so consistent. Listen to these numbers. He's first in the NFL in tackles for loss with 16. Okay, so we played 12 games. He's got 16 tackle for loss. He's second in the NFL in quarterback hits with 26. He's fourth in the NFL in sacks with 12. Sixth in the NFL with 3 forced fumbles. All of this coming off an ACL tear. If Nick Bosa was a quarterback, he'd already have won and locked up comeback player of the year. But he's not, so he's not even going to be in the top 3. It's going to Dak just because he's a QB. It's the way it is. If the 49ers were 9-3, which they should be, this is what we're going to be talking about next, he'd be defensive player of the year. He'd be leading that race, but he's not. Now, here's a play real quick. This was the Nick Bosa sack and forced fumble, which was gigantic. This was right after the Jimmy Garoppolo interception, the first one, and they started with the ball in field goal range. Bosa said, Bosa, baby. Oh, my gosh, Bosa. Coverage was great here. Coverage is really good. DFF out here. I mean, this is where the ball should have gone, but we passed it off very well. So it's not a true quarters look, but, man, very good. Now let's pay attention to Bosa. The fact that this is how good the defense played. This drive started on, I think, the 30, and they're not going to get any points. Why? Nick Bosa. Incredible sack, strip fumble, just hand on hand, gets his hand off of him, chases it down, boom, knocks the ball backwards. Everybody's looking for the ball. Would have been great if we got it, but still, how many yards lost is that? They're on the 40? They're on the 38? Yeah, that's huge. DJ Jones right there. Aziz in there as well. Hell of a job, man. We forced 3 fumbles in 3 possessions. Ooh. Only got one of them back, but this doesn't matter. I mean, this is 30-yard loss, 20-yard loss. Yeah, about 22-yard loss. Incredible job. And, you know, the ESPN, they put this out. This is using Next Gen Stats. Shout out to at Seth Walder who put this together. And I know it's probably hard to see on here, so I'm going to explain what this chart is. And I'm a chart. I love charts. I love charts. I want a shirt that just says I love charts. This is the pass rush win rate. It's the left axis. And the double team rate, that's the bottom one, right? The horizontal axis. And so what this is, a couple things. Nick Bosa is the most double teamed defender in the NFL by a considerable margin. And again, if you're listening to this podcast, okay, Nick Bosa is the farthest right by a considerable margin. The next closest player that faces the most double teams, Cameron Jordan, one of my all-time favorite players of the NFL. Max Crosby, who has been incredible. Myles Garrett. You got Justin Houston, Charles Harris, who's put together a good year. Joey Bosa, Daniel Hunter. And again, Nick Bosa is way past those guys. Like on the other side of the San Andreas fault past those guys. Like he is the most double teamed. Now, if you're looking at this horizontally, the top players in the top of this chart have the best pass rush win rate. Okay, those top players, Myles Garrett's number 1, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, TJ Watt, Hassan Riddick, Nwosu, Jadeveon Clowney, Max Crosby, and Nick Bosa. The difference is the best players, again with these charts, is in the top right. Okay, and those players are Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, Clowney, Crosby, and Justin Houston. Though that's what you take away from this. Joey Bosa's on the outside looking in, Robert Quinn, a handful of those other guys. Like those are the best players. And again, the worst players are in the bottom left. And one of the names that shocked me was Monte Sweat. A lot you go back and talk about, man, how amazing that guy was, and some people wanted him, trade back and get him, forget Bosa, whatever else, but that was just wrong. Bosa's unreal. He's unreal. And I'll go back to this. If we were 9-3, Nick Bosa would be Defensive Player of the Year leading that candidate. All right, now I'm going to get a little mad. And actually, no, hold on. Before we get mad, real quick, I want to say shout out to my bookie. Man, we have crushed it lately. I'm going to have my bets up on Saturday. Here's real quick, just word from my bookie. Cryptocurrency is the future. So don't get left in the past. Bet with my bookie, and you can get your first deposit of crypto doubled using promo code 49ERS. Double your first crypto deposit. And the best part of this, my bookie accepts all well-known cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. They do all of them. And you can withdraw your money even faster if you're willing to take currency and all the cryptocurrencies and all those things. So don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 using promo code 49ERS. And head to my bookie today. Place your bets and watch the sparks fly. We also have UFC 269. You want to bet on the fights? That's there for you as well. So bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. All right, I want to see something. I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favor in the chat. If you could have any defensive end in the NFL moving forward, we're talking now and long term, who would you pick? And if it's Bosa type Bosa, for me, the only person that's even close to this conversation is Myles Garrett because he's a two-way, very good versus the run and the pass. But, would you prefer to have Garrett, Bosa, TJ Watt, throw whomever else you want in there, Max Crosby? There's a lot of studs. And I don't think any of them are the wrong answer necessarily. But, man, like, for me, it's Bosa. But I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. Myles Garrett's the only one that's close for me. TJ Watt, he's going to be a 3-4 guy, but he is so good. TJ Watt would be good with us as well. But I don't think, play in and play out. So let me know. Type in Bosa, Garrett, TJ Watt, whatever. Like, who would you take? If you could start right now with their age and kind of where they are, is there anybody else that you would take besides Bosa? And I know this is a 49ers podcast, but I'm legit curious. Because sometimes I think I'm a little too biased. And, man, yeah, a couple things I see in here. All the holding calls that Bosa gets as well. Which, yeah, he got another chokehold play. I don't have that one cut for you right now. But, yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. Like, if he got those holding calls. And I think eventually he will get those. But he's not getting them yet. And that's frustrating. I love this. Shache says, Bolta, the ultimate complete package with no weaknesses. I agree. He's amazing in the run, great versus the pass. I mean, he leads the NFL in tackles for loss, for Christ's sake. Like, that's bananas. So damn good. So damn good. All right. Now let's talk about why we're not 9-3. And let's take a little turn to negative town. I got pretty pissed right here. This is Coach Hightower, who I'm not a fan of. He might be a great player, a great person. He's a Longhorn. I love the Longhorns. But, dude, I want this guy gone. He's our special teams coach. He came in 2017 with the 49ers. And I think we lost this game because of special teams. There's no doubt about it. Listen, I think he says some of the right things here, but I want to talk about a couple other things.
Well, it's football. Like, to me, football is personal adversity, and it builds character. And that's what I like about our locker room and our guys, because we got the right type of character guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to work like we always done, just like we do after a win or a loss. And I need to coach better. And obviously they feel like they need to play better. We've had 2 weeks that are not up to our standard in a row. And we can't have that happen if we want to go where we want to go. And we know it's not up to our standard. And I believe that we'll get back to our standard. Yeah. So, I mean, they know. I've told them. We played 3 bad games this year. 2 Seattle games and a Minnesota game. Every other game, I have to give those guys credit because they went out there and they did what they were supposed to do. And they did a hell of a job. And those other 3 games, when we didn't play well, that falls on me. And I got to get them better.
Okay, so let's do some simple math here. One, I love that he takes responsibility. So, like, I've always believed this. This isn't just coaching. This is management. This is whatever. Blame goes to the top. Praise goes down. Right? So whenever you cost your team a game, which he has, several, you take responsibility. He's got that check mark. And so I character-wise, I think that dude's got it. I really, really do. He's not hiding behind anything. He's taking, whatever. I love that. But at the end of the day, this is a results meritocracy business. It's not with Kyle Shanahan, but that's okay. Shanahan loyalty program. It's got some major red flags. If you don't put it on the field and your product doesn't improve, what the hell, man? What the hell? So he said they've had 3 bad games. The rest were good. So that's 9 good? All right. Chapman got mad on this. I got pretty upset. And so I went through way too much. I went through every single game's box. I spent over an hour and a half on this today. Judge me all you want, people. Special teams, baby. And I went through all of this. I went through every single game, and I was like, you know what? I want to find out. 3 bad. He said 3 bad, 9 good. And I was like, that's total horse crap. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Let's do the journey, baby. Week 1, missed field goal. Fumbled the onside kick. We had a negative kickoff return and punt return DVOA. DVOA is basically a 0 score is your average. You're not positive helping your team. You're not negative hurting your team. You're just, boom, right in the middle. So if it's a positive DOA, you helped your team win. If it's negative, you hurt your team, okay? So, again, there's kickoff return, punt, field goals. There's 5 categories, okay? They were negative in 2 of those big time, and you had a turnover on special teams. Week 1 was bad, okay? That was a bad game. He didn't say that was a bad game. He said the 2 Seattle games and the Vikings game. So he wrong there. Week 2. All right. We had an 11-yard kickoff return, 2 extra points, 1 field goal. That's it. Like, meh. I called this a meh game. Not good, No major mistakes. Our kickoff and punt returns were negative. The other 3 were positive, right in the middle. So this isn't good. It's just meh, not good, but not bad either. Week 3, kickoff, extra point, punt return, all negative. So 3 out of 5 were negative. Trenton Cannon did have, that's a 1 positive return he's had all year, that 68-yard return. Again, I'm going to say, man, you were negative in 3 out of 5 categories and barely positive in the other ones. Yeah, not good. Not good. All right, week 4. Kicker gets hurt in warmups. This is the Seattle game, which he said was bad. Mitch missed an extra point. Field goal. Listen to this. Kickoff return. Punt return. Field goal. All negative. You have 5 damn categories. Negative in all of them. Terrible. That was the worst game ever. Lost that game. Guess what? Because of special teams. Week 5 versus the Cards. Ayuk had 2 punt returns for 6 yards total. That hurt. Prater, we had 1 missed field goal. Mitch had a very good punting game, however. Kickoff, punt return, field goal, all negative. 3 out of 5. So I'm going to say meh on the negative side, but I'm not going to say bad on that one because, again, we did have some good punting that game, which we hadn't had in a while. Week 7 Colts. Negative kickoff, negative punt return. I'm going to say good. No major mistakes there. Okay, so that's the I'm going to say, all right, cool, we're good there. Week 8 Bears. Just special teams now. Negative field goal and kickoff return. We didn't punt all game. We missed an extra point and a field goal. I'm not putting that in the positive good category by any stretch. So that's a meh for me, okay? Week 9 Cards. Negative on kickoff return and punt return. Again, nothing really positive. No splash plays. No negative plays, whatever. And just in case you're keeping track, we've been negative on kickoff return. On kickoff coverage every single game. Every single game. Week 10, Rams. Negative kickoff, punt return, but I gave this a good game. We made a lot of field goals. We're good. So the Rams game, no problem there. We were good there. I'll give us a good score. Week 11, Jags. Negative on kickoff again and punt return again. Every single time. Just under good, but on the positive side. So I said meh plus. I'll give that to him. Week 12, Vikings. Negative kickoff and punt return. Mixed extra point. Biggest negative score of the year. The Football Outsiders had us losing 6.1 points just on special teams right here. We did have good punting, but this was a bad game. Seahawks, the worst game in the history of mankind. Negative kickoff return, punt return, fake punt for 70-plus yard touchdown, Benjamin fumble. We had a 30-yard punt. We had a 30-yard punt. Mixed extra point. Bad. All right, so let's total that up. He said we had 3 bad and 9 good. Wrong answer, Hightower. 4 bad, okay? 3 good and 5 just in the middle. You're barely average. BS, man. And again, and I'm trying to bookend this conversation about special teams with Hightower taking responsibility. Asked about that fake punt. Here's what he had to say.
The second play, we had a call on, and it's totally on me. The players couldn't have done anything in that situation at all. We had a call on where we were trying to set up the offense in good field position there, and they had the perfect play on. They got us. And, bottom line, they got us. They had the perfect play on. So that's what happened on that play.
And so, here, you put it on film, man. You got to sell scout. Hey, we don't have any edge players to the left side whenever we're doing our safe return. What? That's a problem. And again, look at the thing. He has had a negative DVOA on kickoff for every single game this year. It's terrible, man. Now, you look at the whole year combined, okay, and I use several different metrics. Okay, we're 30th in kickoff DVOA. We're 31st in kickoff return DVOA. We're 24th in overall special teams DVOA. And we're 24th ranked from Pro Football Focus Special Teams Unit. It's bad. And it's not getting better. It's not. It's getting worse. You look at the bad games that we've had. The last 2 were awful. So awful. I'm tired of this crap, man. Hold somebody accountable. And I like this dude. I want to hang out with him. He seems awesome. I don't want him coaching my special teams, man. And this is the problem. Kyle Shanahan played college football with him at Texas. And so he ain't going anywhere. Probably going to get a raise at the end of the season. And that pisses me off. Makes me really mad. Makes me really, really mad. Now, a couple things that I do want to say, and I'm going to let you guys go here in a little bit. We're doing something different again. On our Patreon page, what we're doing is the Rush Hour series. So I know you guys on this channel, if I do anything non-49ers, even if it's NFL or whatever, people get really, really upset. So I want to respect that. And so the Patreon, not taking anything away, we still do all of our breakdowns. We recorded an episode yesterday, which I'm pretty excited about, with my good friend Dale DeMont with Eat Sleep Fantasy. And man, we got into just kind of my coaching history, what that was like, how I went through the coaching, whatever, the adoption story with my family and stuff. It really, I think it's a very, very good show. Not 49ers related so much. We get into a little bit. But if you want that, that's Patreon exclusive only. So I'm going to be loading that tomorrow and getting that up on the site. I might be able to get it done tonight. I'll get it done tonight. So if you want to check that out, please do so. And again, I want more feedback, because I've said several times, this is my last year teaching and coaching. This is my drive moving forward. And a big reason why I could do that is all of the Patreon fans and supporters, and you guys, man, y'all are the best. You turn those notifications on, Countdown Crew. I love the energy that you guys give. Thank you, Shot J. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That helps us out more than anything. And like, tell me what it is you guys want, and I create that. Like, that's what I want this to be. Build the community. Obviously, we're doing all of the 49ers Rush road trip. Check that out. We're throwing the best party in the world at the LA game week 18. And so come out and party with us. You can get your tickets at 49ersrushroadtrip.com. And so next year, we're planning on doing this for all the away games as close as I can before my wife gets upset at me. That's the plan. So the details are on there, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. But again, what I need you guys to do, we're going to be throwing our party in Hermosa, and we're setting up the tailgate. We're going to be tailgating with 49ers Juanos, the freaking awesome chapter. 40 Juanos, they're just a great LA chapter, some great people there. Shout out to them. So again, if you want to join us there, man, come out and party. We've got a pretty good guest list. I'll be teasing that a little bit later, but you're going to be able to see a lot of your favorite podcasters not named John Chapman out there as well. We're going to have a very, very special crowd. So want to say thank you again. Feedback is so important. And again, just let me know what it is that you guys want. Really respect you guys. Thank you for your time. I understand a lot of 49ers podcasts out there. And so for those of you that choose to stay with me, I want to let you know, I do not take that for granted. I am very, very appreciative of what you guys bring to this show. So thank you so much. And I will be back with you guys on Saturday, breaking down the entire Cincinnati game. Hopefully we get a little more clarity Saturday. I might have to wait a little while, because usually when the plane leaves, that's when we'll find out who's playing and who's not. So we'll have to see what that looks like. But until then, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support, and stay strong, faithful.